Okay. Stopped and restarted the stream. If you're hearing this now, yeah, I hopefully that worked. Sorry, I'm also trying to deal with the situation here. I'm getting a warning here about dropped frames in the stream, but that should be fine, considering there's not much movement that goes on in this game. Alright, let's put Ammo Drop in play. That's one of Bunker's best cards. So, these other targets that they're playing, I want to highlight this because these are Nemesis cards, and they're a thing that are in team mode. These cards actually do have the Nemesis icon, and are dealt damage. You can't see it here because it's been nicely edited out since Argentium's Nemesis is not in this game. But if Guise was active, then Argentium would have that icon. The idea behind Nemesis is that all of this entire mode is based on, in Sentinel Comics, the Vengeance story, which was a story where Baron Blade and the Vengeful Five got together a whole bunch of villains from various heroes and who wanted revenge in some way, and they all went after the heroes en masse. And so you get these little extra cards in the deck that have small effects to support the villains and have much more major effects if their nemesis is in the game. You can see here that Argentium only deals one damage to one hero target, but if Guise is even in the game, then that effect is increased to, oh, he deals one damage, and the person he damages can't deal damage at all until the start of Friction's turn. So he becomes a lockdown character. And at this point, I think there's no need for order. You also have to be careful about order when you're fighting Proletariat, because there's a lot of he has a lot of redirection to his clones. So far, Ermin and her subtle diversions are doing pretty well. She's, I think, probably taken the least damage. Baron Blade's taken more damage, but he's healed it. Alright. So time for Impromptu Invention. Which gets us another Impromptu Invention. Very nice. Okay. We have the Razor Ordnance in play. Utility Belt. And then we can play the Micro-Targeting Computer. In that way, we can deal some decent damage to Proletariat and defend the Wraith for next time. Proletariat's clones deal psychic damage to maintain, so they're not costless for him. Not really sure what to do with Absolute Zero. I think I'll just skip turn. Try and get 2 cards, and no, nothing that I can use to get modules. So the idea behind the Freedom Tower environment deck is most of the cards are good for the heroes. The only issue is that there's cards in the deck called entry points, which all of their cards except for the 4 copies of entry point are room cards, and there are various rooms in the Freedom Tower. But the entry points, what they do is they essentially go on top of a room and erase that room's text and increase all villain damage by 1. Empyrean's going to be dealing damage to everyone. That's another nemesis. Empyrean is actually Captain Cosmic's nemesis, so thankfully he's not in the game. I don't believe that the Vengeful Five themselves have any nemesis that are for the actual members of the Freedom Five in their decks, because, well, they're the Freedom Five's nemesis. Okay. Heroic Interception again. Legacy does his job as a buffer. And we're fairly close to taking down Fright Train. It may not seem like it, he's still got 14 HP left, but Fright Train generally goes down very quickly. He takes a lot of damage. Oh yeah, Freedom Tower. Here's the thing about those entry points. This is what the entry point card looks like. It's not that the Freedom Tower is bad in any way. It's that entry points are basically the villains have busted into this room and turned it to their own ends. Some of the rooms are better than others. Mission Control is probably the best room, because it accelerates your setup, and as well as Dr. Stinson's secondary lab, which does some cool things. I'd say the worst room is probably the training simulator, but that makes a lot of sense because it's not supposed to be a room where good things happen. And some of the rooms also can be problematic if you have certain heroes, like Ironclad Maintenance Bay, recycling your trash for heroes who are very who like to fish things out of the trash. All right, let's put heavy plating into play. This is going to be a pretty perfect setup because, or no, the Hypersonic Assault is going to stop it. Oh well. Fun fact, as you can see, Fleet of Foot actually features Tachyon and Friction. Tachyon has a very funny line on this card. Alright. I'm actually going to skip playing the second card, I just wanted to get that draw off. I do not want to discard Lightspeed Barrage. So this is kind of where you run into the whole situation of what Ermin does being really annoying. Here she's going to move a hero card to the top of a deck, and then immediately discard it from Constant Prattle. Luckily, I can mitigate that by using Wraith's Razor Ordnance. And if I hit Absolute Zero with this, he will take no damage because of Heroic Interception. Another one. No, please, just ruin my board. Okay. Let's put the computer back into play, and then play Razor Ordnance again to recover from Ermin's bullshit. See, one more turn from the Wraith, and she's going to be able to just outright kill Fright Train. Now, the nice thing about Regroup and Recover is, even though it is going to have an ultimately bad effect of healing Proletariat, the technical destruction of the Proletariat clones means that Bunker gets to draw a bunch of cards. Alright, we're finally here. Onboard module installation. Start by grabbing the null point calibration unit. Right, of course. I forgot that I can't deal damage to myself right now. So, Caspit's Playground, which has probably my favorite art of the entire Freedom Tower deck. This is actually a character who is not a part of the Freedom 5, but is an intern for them, the hero Unity, who is a technopath. And this room just makes all hero ongoing cards into equipment cards, which... that has some effects, but the implications of that are too... completely, like, complicated and staggering for me to really go over right now. But it's probably not going to have much of an effect right now. Oof. Okay, yeah, Legacy... we might have a problem with Legacy. He might not survive this one. He hasn't got any of his proper tanking cards out. Going to have everyone draw a bit. But yeah, team mode is really interesting because the sort of scenario you get with a team of villains is very different from a solo villain like you would normally have. The game tends to be more fast-paced, and the villains themselves are weaker because they have to be, otherwise it just wouldn't be fair. The heroes are designed to have multiples fighting one villain. Guess I'll just destroy the Razor Ordnance. Again. Poor Wraith. Keeps getting her shit destroyed. Guess I'll just kill off Fright Train first. Unfortunately, it's going to just be dealing its normal damage because the cryo chamber counteracts Galvanize. Oh, shoot. Oh, there goes ammo drop. Okay. Time to deal with some stuff. I have to be very careful, because the second I hit Ermin, one of the heroes is probably going to end up not being able to deal damage, and it might be Tachyon. So I need to make sure everyone is dealt a decent amount of damage. Okay, Bunker will be our sacrifice. I hope this is interesting, by the way. I have a hard time telling whether I'm being too boring during a stream when I'm playing this game. Like, I don't know whether you guys are getting the same stuff out of this that I do. So let me know if I'm being too boring, and I'll try to fix that in some way. Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. Alright. Oh. Okay, regroup and recover with no clones. Ah, yes. The nemesis with one of my favorite names to say, the Radioactivist! And whoops, Radioactivist is completely neutered by the cryo chamber. Okay. Right. And destroy subtle diversion, both of them. And Baron Blade's genetically fused physique. This is also going to automatically destroy Friction Speedy Sidestep. And deal a whole bunch of damage to a lot of people. And now, finally, Absolute Zero can start healing himself properly. Oh yes, the Radioactivist! God, I love that name. Frankly, as soon as the cryo chamber and null point calibration unit are in play, Absolute Zero in Freedom Tower kind of becomes immortal. Okay. I'm gonna see how long I can keep Legacy alive. Danger Sense should do a bit. So, Fright Train's incapacitated side makes the hero target with the highest HP deal themselves 2 toxic damage. This is probably going to be Absolute Zero a lot of the time, because, as I said, his HP is crazy. Okay. Let's put Upgrade Mode into play. Means we can play another card. Omni Cannon in play. Bunker can't use powers, but that's okay, because his only power at the time is the draw card, which we don't need anymore. He's got plenty of cards. Highbrow, that would be Parse's nemesis. Alright, what other ongoing cards are still issues? And how many? 9. I could do 9 damage with a burst. Destroy Constant Prattle. Discard Sucker Punch. We got another Hypersonic Assault. So we can do some more damage mitigation next turn. Move an ongoing card to the top of the deck. Oh. Oof, that was a lot of damage to Tachyon. That's unfortunate. You can probably destroy the playground. What does Proletariat's in-cap side do? Nothing damage-wise, okay. Impromptu Invention time. Bunker will be dealt the damage since he can neuter it. And Wraith will put throwing knives into play. Along with Infrared Eyepiece. Throwing Knives is a much better card than I initially thought, because it also is upgraded by Micro-Targeting Computer. So, I'm about to do 3 damage to 3 targets. Which means Friction's dead. The Radioactivist is dead. And Omniblade is dead. And then I can go ahead and also kill Proletariat. So now there's only 2 problems left. Baron Blade and Ermin. And, of course, I forgot that that's a thing that can happen. Well, we just killed that Lightspeed Barrage from doing anything. Sorry, Tachyon. Let's put the Isothermic Transducer in play. And deal myself some cold damage. Alright, so the Wraith's Arsenal is also a very good room card that I forgot about. Basically, it allows everyone to draw a card, and if everyone does, it's destroyed. So I will have Legacy, Bunker, Wraith, and Absolute Zero draw cards. Ooh boy, the bad room. Legacy, thankfully, is immune to damage from the environment, but I unfortunately think that we're going to lose Tachyon this turn without much I can do about it. Of course, with everyone else in dire straits, Absolute Zero is suddenly at 18 HP. Oh, there goes Legacy. But hey, it's still a 3v2. Here's Legacy's in-cap side. I'm going to make the Wraith do something. Alright, how many things are still here? Absolute Zero is going to deal himself some damage. That's fine. Yes, I'm going to start charging up the Omni Cannon. And now the real trick. Omni Cannon plus Recharge mode. So the way this works is that the Omni Cannon uses cards in your hand as like resources. So at the beginning of the turn, put up to 3 cards from your hand beneath this card. Recharge mode prevents you from playing cards or using powers, but increases your draws by 1. But since putting the cards under Omni Cannon is not a card play or a power, you can use Recharge mode, which also, by the way, or does it? Yeah, it also reduces damage dealt to Bunker by 1, to sit there, tank, and charge up a big shot. And of course, since you can destroy Recharge mode at the beginning of your turn, that means that you can use Omni Cannon whenever you want. I will go ahead and destroy the eyepiece. I haven't really used it that much. Tachyon is going to let's let Absolute Zero play something. Frostbound Drain. So that's really the brilliant thing about Absolute Zero, is that it takes him a while to get set up sometimes, but once he's set up, he's really, really powerful. Alright, what should I destroy this time? Not destroy, I guess it's just a move thing. Probably afford to move the throwing knives. Let's have Tantrum destroy the training simulator. Play Trust Fund to get some more Wraith cards. We're only going to be able to use one of these because of the Impulsion Beam. So let's smack some Sens into Baron Blade. Okay. I think this is a perfect time. Actually, a Frostbound Drain will probably take care of this. Take down Baron Blade. And Ermin. So yeah, that's essentially what team mode looks like. It's very hectic, and when I initially played the game, I tried this exact game, Freedom 5 versus Vengeful 5, and they kicked my ass so hard that I legitimately thought that team mode was just impossible. As you can see, I have improved at the game since then. Alright. So now that we've done that, the next thing I wanted to show off, besides just regular team mode, definitely I want to show off a few specific heroes that are cool. And if you're up for it, I can play another team mode game with some more, some stranger villains. People like Biomancer and Bugbear. Or we could just fight a normal villain, and I'll just show off some heroes. That is your decision. Main heroes I want to show off are Mr. Fixer, who it took me a while to understand how he worked, but he's great. And guys. Actually, in preparation for guys, I need to turn up the effects volume a little bit so that it comes through properly. So, Oh, La Capitane? Okay. Do you want to fight her in normal mode or team mode? Because she's there both times. What's funny is that team mode La Capitane is an earlier earlier version of her that appears later because she's a time traveler. Actually, you know, I'll just fight her in normal mode. I think that team mode again might be a bit too much. All right, Le Capitane normal mode. In the Time Cataclysm, how about? And we will be fighting her. Obviously, guys. Fixer, like I said. And let's add La Commodora. Or, not Harpy. I'm actually not going to put La Commodora first here. Because guys, I have to show them off in a specific way. For you to understand what's going on with guys. Who else? Who would make a good next setup for the team? Well, Let's use the Sentinels because they are actually Le Capitan's nemesis. You'll see what the deal is with guys. It's really fun. And I'll go with Tempest. Yes, guys, is just Deadpool. Okay, yes, guys, I will do my best. So, the way Le Capitan works is, whenever a hero card is destroyed by a villain card, it's placed under this card, and, if there's 3 or more under the card, Le Capitan flips, at which point she starts using those cards to block damage dealt to herself. She also starts with her ship in play, La Paradoja Magnifica. The Magnificent Paradox. Okay, she shoots her future self, making her unable to use powers. And then is going to really smack Mr. Fixer. So, the reason I put up effects volume is that Guise is very talkative, and you will see that very quickly. Alright. Let's take that Captain's Orders card that just got put in and retcon it out of existence. And then play Gritty Reboot. The wording of this power. Draw a card or play a card. How to choose. Also, Guise deals 1 target 1 melee damage. But who?
The look on your face!
You heard that, right? Man, I love Guise. Alright, let's start talking about someone a bit more serious. La Commodora, although I can't use powers with her right now, is extremely complicated and requires a lot of setup and card draw. But okay. I'm actually gonna skip turn with her in order to get the double draw. So let's put that aside for later. And again, I don't know how good of a team comp this actually is, so I may just fuck up. Mr. Fixer's deal is that he's like a he's a martial artist. He's actually a soft reboot, essentially, of a Golden Age blaxploitation character in Sentinel comics called Black Fist, who they later on realized that was like super racist, and decided to make him more of a well-rounded character and make him into this like old auto shop mechanic who's bitter but is back to fight the good fight. And his thing are styles and tools. His basic power is Strike. He deals 1 target, 1 melee damage. Everything else modifies that. So let's put the Pipe Wrench into play. Increases his damage and decreases damage dealt to him. Yes! Grease Monkey Fist. That's one of his really good styles. The Sentinels are 4 characters. They are Dr. Medico, Mainstay, the Idealist, and Rive. They are the actual nemeses of Le Capitan. And it's kind of complicated to play as them, but they're also very powerful. Good thing we got unique capabilities in a first draw, because this is a very good card. It's a free copy of one of their signature cards. And the signature cards are also very good. Alright. One second, I've got to move the Twitch chat because it's getting in the way of some of the cards. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's put Hippocratic Oath in play first, because that's the most important signature card. So what Hippocratic Oath does is, whenever Dr. Medico specifically would deal damage, prevent that damage, and instead one hero target regains that much HP. There's a lot of cards in this deck that make Dr. Medico deal energy damage, which now turns into healing. Plus, at the end of your turn, as long as he's alive, you just get auto heals. So now we play Horrifying Dichotomy. Hippocratic Oath takes the damage Dr. Medico would deal off of that card, and instead gives it to the Idealist. And then Rive still deals La Paradoja Magnifica 3 infernal damage. These Sentinels are pretty fun. They're kind of a riff on the Fantastic Four. And it makes a cool thing where, like, you're actually playing a superhero team as one superhero. They also have 4 character cards. They can only use 1 a turn, though, unless they have certain things in play. But, okay. The Idealist is the one that deals damage based on... Yes! Sentinel Tactics, okay. Alright, we've currently got plenty of healing from Dr. Medico, so let's upgrade Tempest's base power to Grievous Hailstorm. Tendrils of Madness damages villains, but also increases their own damage, so that's an annoying environment card from the Time Cataclysm. Thankfully, Altogether now, at the moment, is not a very good card for Le Capitan because there isn't a lot of crew in play. So let's hit guys with it so we can just draw a card. Oof. Oh boy. She's stealing our shit. Yep, Guy's the Barbarian. So, to actually explain in real terms what is going on with Guy's powers and what he can do, he's a shapeshifter. He can turn into basically anything. So, stuff like, yeah, I'm that guy, is him trying to imitate Legacy. Alright, let's retcon the Tendrils of Madness out of existence, too. And play...
I'm you, and I just got punched.
Man. Guys. Still not getting Locomodora's most important cards. But I can at least Flintlock and Cutlass to destroy the ship and then smack La Capitan herself. So, now that we actually get to use Locomodora's power, her power is really, really good. Shuffle a hero deck, select a card from that deck's trash, put it under the top card of the deck. Any hero that's dependent on specific, extremely powerful cards, you know, people like Tachyon with Lightspeed Barrage, Locomodora really boosts them, like, massively. Let's put Retcon back. Her basic power is essentially recycling. Okay. Grease Monkey Fist into play. And now he has both a tool and a style. So what Grease Monkey Fist does is increase his damage by 1 and change the type of his damage to whatever. He's got 4 styles, Alternating Tire Claw, Driving Mantis, Grease Monkey Fist, and Riveting Crane. And he's got several tools that all modify his stuff in different ways as well, such as the dual crowbars, which make him deal 2 instances of damage that get progressively bigger. The hoist chain that reduces damage dealt by whoever it hits. The pipe wrench, which you've seen. Tire iron. changes his damage to projectile, and outright destroys things with 2 or less HP. And importantly for a lot of really good strats, the jack handle, which makes all of his attacks deal every villain target damage. So, Mr. Fixer only ever deals 1 damage, but all of his cards in some way modify that 1 damage. And hey, guess what? I just got the dual crowbars. That's a really good card. Sentinel Tactics, as well as being the name of a different game in the set in the same universe as Sentinels of the Multiverse, just in the future, is one of the Sentinels' best cards. You'll understand when I actually play. The first time one of the Sentinels deals damage each turn, you may use a power. That essentially means that you can use 2 powers from the Sentinels each turn, as long as one of those the first of those powers is the Idealist's. So you can do stuff like that. Cleansing Downpour to heal everyone once again. Oh god, surprise shopping trip. That is a terrible, terrible card. Whenever a card enters play, deal each target 1 melee damage. Oh man, it has been literally forever since I heard someone reference the FOE video. This card is so good. No, you're not getting the hang of it, and stop asking about wax. In any of the cards where Guise isn't talking, generally the reaction of every other hero is constant annoyance with Guise. The other one where it happens is Let Me See That with the Argent Adept. That is a priceless artifact of great power. It is not for playing Freebird. Alright. At the very least, Surprise Shopping Trip is going to get the all the damage reduction against Le Capitan gone. Oh man, I'm going to play that card at some point because I absolutely have to. You would not believe how funny. Because here's the thing, every single effect on his cards actually happens in the video game. You can even see him instead of what do you want to do, which is normally what this kind of thing says, it actually says how to choose, because that's what it says on his power. Actually, you know what? Okay. Play a card. Let me see that. Pipe Wrench. Okay. No equipment cards in the trash. Let's use Chronological Sweet Spot. Back, Guys the Barbarian. Now, Chronological Sweet Spot basically just pops the top card of each deck, and hopefully it's a one-shot. Blatant Reference, not a one-shot. Maria Elena's Plot, not a one-shot. Dual Crowbars, not a one-shot. Team Communication. Yes. Draw 4 cards, you may play a card. Let's play another Unique Capabilities. To grab. Colliginous Form for Rive, which will, once again, do all this damage dealing. And we get to play another card. Horrifying. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Horrifying Dichotomy. That way, even though we get hit again, we get to heal some. And then we get to use another power because of Sentinel Tactics, which I will use to have Dr. Medico heal himself because we need the healer in play. So now we have Overdrive, which is a very fun card. Basically, it just lets you use Strike twice. So I know I said it about Chrono Ranger's Compounded Bow. I literally have no idea how this Grease Monkey Fist style lets him do stuff like toxic or infernal damage with just, or psychic damage with just his regular hands. I guess it's like, it's just the power of Kung Fu, man. Because like, the creators of this game on their podcast, The Letters page, Adam Rebataro and Christopher Bedell, have stated that Mr. Fixer doesn't have any superpowers per se. He just knows kung fu. But he, like, is really good at kung fu. Okay. I'm going to put Human Shield in play to do something interesting with Mainstay. So, okay. If what I just did worked properly, then I should be able to redirect all this damage to Mainstay, and he'll block all of it. So the Capitan is going to... Yep, so there we go, surprise shopping trip. We managed to weather it out. Main computer room. Oh. Okay. This won't actually work with this kind of damage because of the whole Nemesis thing, increasing the damage by 1. So you gotta be careful with that. Oh shit. Actually, hold on. Did that happen properly? Okay, yes, that is what it is. So that was him playing air guitar. Okay. Let's retcon out Captain's orders. Draw a card. Chronological Sweet Spot destroyed itself because it requires you to destroy an ongoing equipment, which is a theme in La Commodora's deck. Okay. Harnessed Anomaly. Let's put team unique capabilities back in the deck somewhere. Play Restorative Burst. Draw a card off of that. The Commodore's unfortunately gotten off to a bit of a slow start without a lot of her very important cards. Although I'll try to get Maria Helena's plot into play. She is extremely powerful when she gets off to a good start. Okay. Since there's 2 targets out, I can swap out the Pipe Wrench for dual crowbars. That's a fun thing. Unlike with Styles, which go to the discard when another one enters play, like most cards of its type, tools, when you add when you put out a new one, bounce the original tool back to your hand. So here's why dual crowbars and Grease Monkey Fist is such a good combo when there's 2 targets out. Because I can start by dealing some damage to the main computer room, which gets increased by Grease Monkey Fist and dual crowbars, and goes into 3 damage. Well, it's not really going to work because of the whole... She has cards blocking her, but you'll see the basic idea. Since this is a new instance of damage, it actually goes up again. Alright, let's get Human Shield out. Positive energy. Everyone regain some health. Put the Worldly Resilience in play to defend Tempest a bit. Alright, got a whole bunch of card draw off of main computer room. Rift in Time comes into play. Okay, so we're going to be destroying 1 card here. I'll take out the Grievous Hailstorm. Alright, she's got her crew out. This is going to be an issue. Oof. Okay. Mainstays down. Okay. I'll use Let Me See That again for dual crowbars. I will play the card. Where did I leave that? Which has the text, draw 2 cards. Did you get what you were looking for? If so, good. If not, you may discard the 2 cards you just drew to put a card from your trash into your hand. So I just wanted to draw 2 cards no matter what. So, did you get what you were looking for? Good! Okay. Maria Helena's plot. This is a pretty important card for her. One of the most important. The other most important one is called the Concordant Helm. One of the things that it does is allows you to always see what the bottom card of your deck is. This is important for some effects she has. I'm not going to play anything, or... I'll grab a style card from the deck, just for later. Grab the other copy of Grease Monkey. Misclicked. Other copy of Grease Monkey Fist. Put it in my hand, not in play. And then... smack Final Breath. Changing damage type to fire. What? Hold on. Wait. What went wrong there? I was gonna hit the Amazing Mabel as well. Is it because Of course, it's because Let Me See that actually stops Mr. Fixer from using his own equipment. Okay, good to know. Okay, everyone's actually at pretty good health, so I will heal Commodora. Oh, right, because of oppressive smog. The healing isn't working properly. Reduce all HP recovery by 2. Okay, Tempest is going to Chain Lightning. I'll go ahead and destroy the oppressive smog. Oof, that was a hard one. Okay. Say cheese. Didn't quite do what I expected, but that's fine. Oh wait, no, hold on. Much easier way to handle this. Right, start off with Extreme! Which makes Guys' damage irreducible. Then play a card. Say cheese. Play another card. And let's briefly actually straight up turn guys into Mr. Fixer. With, yeah, I'm that guy.
Truth and Justin.
So we have to give one of our heroes a high five. God damn it. Since 2 Grease Monkey Fists in play, at least we have that extra one. You see, even though I know guys, it's difficult to pilot him. Right, Timeless Treasure. Okay. Kill the Filter Spy. Changing it to energy damage. And then... I think Le Piste is probably the biggest concern right now, because he's dealing the most damage. Okay. Team communication again. Into unique capabilities. Put the Durasteel chains in play because Second Chance is going to bring Mainstay back. That's one of the things that even though individual Sentinels can die very easily, as long as Dr. Medico is still around, it's actually fairly simple to bring them back. So hold on a moment. Let's see if this works a bit better. Can you still hear me? Good. I've moved the laptop to a more comfortable position. Alrighty. So Idealist regains some HP. Tempest desperately needs it. and Mainstay because he just came back. Alright, Chain Lightning. First off, killing Le Piste. And hitting Battleforged. And finally, one to Le Capitan himself. Then, heal, please. Destroy the main computer room. And have everyone else draw a card as well. So you might be wondering about those weird things on these anomaly cards that are like, this one's a trial, this one's cover. The joke there is that these are cards, since this is the Time Cataclysm environment, these are cards from other environment decks. Cover is not a thing in this environment, but it is in the Silver Gulch environment, whereas Trials are from the Tomb of Anubis. And the thing, these cards aren't just cards that appear in other environments, they're essentially like cards that could be in another environment, but never were, because Time Cataclysm took them. Okay. Does anyone have a hand that I can safely discard? Not really. Does anyone have another way to get rid of it? Oh wait, of course. Rift in Time is going to go off first. Unfortunately, Mr. Fixer's not going to be doing this much this turn because he can't use powers. Look what I found! Which features guys smacking Wager Master with the one-shot panel from the cards. Smack a target for 3 melee. Since he's still around, increase the next damage guys deals by 1. Alright, now we get into some of the more ridiculous shit you can do with guys. Super Ultra Kawaii. So what does Super Ultra Kawaii do? At the end of each hero turn, if you have more than 5 cards in your hand, you may play a card. Wow, 11 cards in hand? My power level is over 9,000. Yep, got what I was looking for.
Good.
That is, in fact, Baron Blade. You can see in the text from Freedom 5 Annual number 24. Oh, that guys, he is so amazing. Wait, what? What is going on here? Alright, so. Discard a card. I'll discard, Temporal Rigging. I play... How many cards do I have? Two. And because Guys, once again, has more than 5 cards in hand, he can play a card. And I will use this to play the best card ever, which is called Best Card Ever. Guys draws 2 cards, deals 1 target 2 melee damage, regains an HP, and if I throw my hands in the air and yell woo, I can play a card.
Good.
Mr. Fixer may not be able to use powers right now, but I can still charge. Alright. Unique capabilities. We'll put Idealist signature card into play. Mainstay will deal a total of 6 damage to Le Capitan off of that card, which goes on to allow the Idealist to do 2 damage. And Guys gets to play another card, which is going to be Look What I Found. Oh, shit. Idea. Smack True Shot here back to the top of the villain deck. Use I Can Do That Too with Ride's power to put Plunder in the trash. Whew. I don't use Ride's power very often, but here it seems to have paid off. Everyone's going to draw a card off of the Atlantean Throne Room. Oof, Marsquake. Okay. Gimmicky character on top of the deck. Unlocking Cutlass. One of the Jack Handles. Simple Tactics. And Shielding Winds. Crew's dealing a lot of damage, but... Alright, so there goes Super Ultra Kawaii. Retcon the Marsquake out of existence. Say cheese. Hitting chip. Best card ever.
Woo!
Guys plays so many cards. Let's put Total Beefcake in play. Alright, discard another card. Discard the Future Tech Gun. And the other temporary green. Okay. Run Aground is going to take all 4 equipment cards from her trash, put them on the bottom of her deck, and then deal irreducible energy damage based on that number +1. Okay. I think getting should be preventing me from dealing damage, so... Bloody Knuckles. Which increases all damage dealt to and by Mr. Fixer by 2. With dual crowbars in play. Whew. Okay. I didn't actually realize that would do enough damage to finish things off, but yeah. Oh man. So I didn't get to show off La Commodora as much as I would have liked, but I mean, you definitely got the idea of what Guys and the Sentinels do, at least. And yeah, Mr. Fixer too. Mr. Fixer mostly did Mr. Fixer things. The thing about La Capitane that I didn't get to show off, and I'll just show that off in her Multiverse page, or La Commodora, not La Capitane, is, okay, so her cards are very complicated, and most of her equipment cards require her to discard a card from her hand or destroy them. So here's kind of how her system works. First off, Concordant Helm has the really weird effect of You may take your play, power, and draw phases in any order. Which you might imagine is extremely powerful. Because you can do stuff like draw before you play and immediately like play the card you drew. Or use your power to shuffle your deck and put some stuff on top before you manage to actually draw it. And also, at the end of your turn, you may either move an equipment card from your trash to your hand, or put the bottom card of your deck in your hand. Now, remember how Maria Helena's plot had the effect you can look at the bottom card of your deck at any time? That's because La Commodora's deck uses the bottom card as a storage space that she can actually access. Also, whenever one of your equipment cards is destroyed, which I remind you, a lot of them are at the beginning of the turn, and in fact you want a lot of your equipments in the trash, either draw a card, or La Commodora deals each villain target 1 fire damage. So yeah, Maria Elena's plot, Concordant Helm, very important cards. Ship Shape is also very important, because it gets her hand engine running better, where when she has to discard a card to keep her equipments in play, she can draw a card immediately to replace it, as well as she can do a bit of a weird thing where she can I'm not entirely sure what this does precisely, but I know it does something. This whole basically you can recycle an equipment card at the beginning of your turn and put it back into play. Rudder in the Time Stream is an equipment that has the normal equipment restriction of either discard a card or destroy this card, that allows you to manipulate the trash. It allows you to recycle cards from the trash into the bottom of the decks, which, remember, is a space that she can use. And now we get the 2 cards that really get the engine running. You saw one of them, Run Aground. This is shuffle any number of equipment cards from your trash into your deck, deal 1 target X irreducible energy damage, where X equals the number of cards shuffled into your deck this way, plus 1. That's what you use equipments in the trash for, but with stuff like Rudder in the Time Stream and being able to put stuff on the bottom of your deck, that's when you use Weigh Anchor. Reveal the bottom card of your deck. If it has the same name as a limited card currently in play, discard it. Otherwise, put it into play. If an equipment card enters play this way, repeat the text of this card. So, if you can get a lot of her equipments into the trash with just their own destruction effects or discards or whatever, then use Rudder in the Time Stream to get those cards onto the bottom of your deck and have a whole bunch of them. And then you Weigh Anchor to get all of the equipment back onto the field all at once. You can do some pretty fun stuff. La Commodora, a lot of her stuff is very focused on, like, doing crazy things with the deck and manipulating it in that way. I've seen people come up with a really weird sort of setup for her that essentially allows her to, every single turn, destroy a whole bunch of equipment cards and then put them back into play with Weigh Anchor. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense that she's manipulating the probability of her deck because she is a time traveler. That's her entire deal, is popping in and out of time in various ways. It's a thing that in her villain deck, she actually has that card, La Paradoja Magnifica, in her hero deck, she never pulls out the full ship. You can actually see a couple times. She basically teleports parts of the ship into play through these portals. So, like, here's the figurehead coming in. Way Anchor has her dropping the anchor and shooting a bunch of cannons. Temporal Rigging has the rigging, which, by the way, fun fact, that guy on Temporal Rigging is one of the Legacy variants, America's Greatest Legacy, who is the current Legacy's father, or was the current Legacy's father, but he was like World War II era, and he died a while ago. But for the big final fight with Oblivion, they brought him back. Where it's like, this World War II guy just comes in and goes, "Stand down, villain! I've not seen the likes of you before, but I know evil when I see it!" Just... her deck is really, really cool, but it requires so much luck and knowledge of the fiddly mechanics to actually use. Also, highlight of a card I like. Her 1 damage mitigation card, Combat Timing. Just, I love this card so much. It's not, it's like a very standard damage mitigation card. It's very similar to Tachyon's Synaptic whatever it was. But just the flavor here of her literally... yeah, I know. She's like, using time travel to dodge. I just absolutely love La Commodora. Alright. I might have to move if I'm going to continue, because I was initially down here because it was quiet, but it's getting very, very cold because it's getting later in the day, and my basement is the coldest part of my house, so I might have to move shop in a minute. But before any of that, you think we have time for one more match? Yeah, you know what? Let's stop it here. I'm getting cold. You probably have to eat. I think I've shown enough to justify this this whole this stream. And I will let you know when I've gotten La Commodora's variant card, because we're still trying to figure that one out. We don't know the actual setup for it. We definitely know that it has to do with fighting, like with playing a game with La Commodora in the Time Cataclysm environment, but we don't know what it is that actually unlocks the thing. But yeah, want to try that really tricky mode? Do you mean Oblivion mode? Because... If we try Oblivion mode, I'm going to warn you right now, it may be the first time you see me lose one of these games. Because, so far I've gotten absurdly lucky and haven't lost anything so far. The variant is La Commodora's Curse of the Black Spot. I don't precisely, let me see if I can, someone posted exactly what the variant was. Okay. She deals her power is that she deals 1 target 2 energy damage and discards the top card of a deck. It's an interesting little thing. Yeah, there's like, even without the crazy new modes in Oblivion Heroes, there's still plenty that I kind of want to get through before maybe jumping straight into Oblivion. Like, there's so many heroes I haven't shown you. You still have no idea what... Who's a good hero? You still don't know what Stuntman does. And Stuntman's great. In fact, fun fact, Stuntman is actually the same person as Ambuscade. In a very Baron Blade situation, Ambuscade did a heel face turn. To kind of, I guess I'll just, like, the last few minutes of the stream will be me explaining certain heroes and stuff. So what Stuntman does, he's really funny. Where is he? There he is. He loves... So the joke is that he's an attention whore. And so he loves doing things outside of his turn. So he has a lot of ongoing cards with destruction effects. So, like here, L'Embuscade. Whenever a non-hero card enters play, you may destroy this card. When this card is destroyed, either Stuntman deals one target 5 melee damage, or you may use a power. Like, this card does not do anything when it's actually in front of you. It's just essentially him holding a thing in reserve for when the condition happens to destroy it. There's a Dramatic Cliffhanger, which is destroyed at the end of the environment turn, but allows him to play a card, use a power, and draw a card in any order. Stylish Armor, which this actually does a thing. It reduces damage dealt to him, but it also has a destruction effect because, yeah. Target dealt 4 or more damage, you may destroy this card to prevent that damage. So on, so forth. All of his things besides the ongoings that kill themselves like that are variations on stuff that his power does, which is, okay, power, Tireur Incroyable. Stuntman deals one target 1 irreducible projectile damage. Increase that damage by 2 when this power is used outside your turn. So he's dealing, if at any time he uses a power outside of his turn, he automatically has the ability to deal 3 irreducible damage, which is very nice. Lance Flamme. 4 targets, 2 fire damage. Powers used outside your turn and reduces a target 2 or fewer HP. Destroy that target. Pistolet Mitrailleur. I hope I'm pronouncing... You know, no, I don't hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I hope I'm pronouncing it horrendously. Deals each non-hero target 1 projectile damage. Used outside of your turn, you can play a card. Very nice stuff. A couple of one-shots. The usual solution does a lot of damage from him, which is nice, but more importantly, destroys an ongoing equipment or environment card, which can be used either for removal or for activating Stuntman's own ongoing destruction cards. Steal the Scene is probably my favorite ongoing destruction card because of the flavor text. Apologies, ma chérie. Were you not done with that one? We'll find you another. And finally, his absolute funniest card. In medias res. Go immediately to the start of Stuntman's next turn, skipping all turns in between. Remove this card from the game. Yes, he is French. Bonjour! You did not expect to see me again, did you? Que surprise! Yeah, Stuntman, and Ambuscade as well, the villain, is actually a French actor named Ansel G. Moreau. And even as a villain, he's always had something of a ridiculous French accent. It's Ambuscade. Where's Ambuscade? Like, he's much more dangerous as a villain, because he's got a lot of very powerful guns and minor energy manipulation powers, but it wasn't always obvious that he was French. He doesn't have the gratuitous stuff or the accent in his original cards a lot of the time. The main one that I always liked is actually in the character Parse's deck. And it is the text on Impossible Shot, where he just says, "How? I did not see that coming. Merde." Because, yeah, Parse just put an arrow into the scope of his sniper rifle. You really don't want to fuck around with Parse. She's very, very good at things. Parse's whole thing is like she was a programmer who, due to various events in the comics, like, saw the code of the universe and can now, like, do weird programming things with reality. Like, buffer overflow. And, of course, is also an archer, sort of that, I'd say more Hawkeye than Green Arrow, but either way, like, her main thing is the programming stuff. There's so many good heroes in this game, and there's even heroes that I'm not good at, but I know people are. Like, a lot of people consider the Scholar to be one of the best characters in the game. He's like a really good tank and a healer. I have no idea how he works. I can't bloody play him. And even though I really like the character of Setback, I find his mechanics really counterintuitive and weird, so I don't play him much either. One of these days, I'll just play a game with, like, all the characters I don't know how to play, and we can see what a disaster it becomes. But either way, the reason I often take so long between these streams is that I'm still playing this game in between. I'm playing it privately to increase my skill with various characters. Like, when I last streamed to you, I didn't know how to play La Commodora, and now I know her shit. And yeah, I think that's about everything. So thank you for coming to the stream. I think it's just you, Frog. I haven't seen anyone else. And have a good day.